Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You're listening to Date the Right One. And I just want to thank you guys because we are the #1 internet singles talk network. And it's just because of you. I mean, because you're listening, and we want you to know that we so much appreciate you. And we hope that we're giving you good content that you can take with you to really help put you on the path of where you need to be. Those of you who don't know me, I am Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach. You can find all of our information right there on goingsolonetwork.com. It's right above, so you can see it on the whole show. It's goingsolonetwork.com. All of our wonderful guests and hosts are there with all of their terrific shows, helping to move you through to where you want to be, really, truly living your best life. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We have a wonderful guest here with us tonight. Welcome, Dr. Wendy.
Hi, so great to be here.
Oh, it is so great to have you. Dr. Wendy, we're going to talk about how to find love after divorce or a breakup. You're one of our elite guests, and we want to thank you for supporting us as we want to support you. So we have Dr. Wendy Lyon. And also, I just want to share with you that she is a psychologist, a master of certified relationship coach. And just a little bit more information about her. Dr. Wendy Lyon guides individuals and couples to create lives they love with the love of their lives. And that's something a little bit rare, I think. She helps singles gain confidence and clarity and find love. And she helps couples connect, communicate, and rejuvenate their relationships. And, as we move through relationship building, this is exactly what we need. We need someone like Dr. Wendy that's going to help us move through not only where we are being single, but as we continue to grow and expand our horizons and have people into our lives, she helps us really as a sounding board and as person right next to us to help move us through that. So we want to again thank you so much for being with us tonight and supporting us and helping us with everything, Dr. Wendy. We just we love you, so thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
we
Cece.
truly appreciate you. So
Yeah.
let's get on to this hard subject tonight. And I know that we talk about it and we say, it might not be as difficult as we think, right? But our hearts are out there and our hearts are a little raw, they're a little broken. So, how do we find love after divorce or a breakup? So, tell us a little bit about your journey, why this resonates with you, why you feel that you need to help people move through this very difficult situation.
Thank you, Cece. It's such a pleasure being here with all of you. And yes, I want to share a little bit about my journey. I have always been fascinated with relationships and love. I studied psychology and would take every course I could find that had anything to do with relationships, marriage, family, gender issues, and did that as an undergraduate student. And then as a graduate student, I was really into it, wanted to learn everything I could. And one day when I was in graduate school, I decided to go rock climbing with a group. And when I was up high on a ledge, sitting on this ledge called Lunch Ledge in the desert, along came this young man climbing up the rock, sat down beside me. And I said, wow, who's this? He was handsome and tan and pretty charming. And it turned out, even though we hadn't gone on this trip together, that he was also a grad student at the same college. So we started dating and we quickly got into a relationship. And I decided this guy's the one for me. We had a lot in common. I really liked his family. This is my guy. And I'm pretty stubborn and decided this has to work. This is my man, and I'm going to make it work because I know about relationships. I've been studying about this stuff, right? Yeah. So the problem is he wanted to go rock climbing all the time. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, which was okay, but he really wasn't that tuned into me and what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out dancing and go to parties, and he'd be, not so much. And we spent a lot of time hanging out with his friends and family, and with mine, he'd grumble and not be that great about the whole thing. So I was really in love with the potential. That I thought, well, this can still work. I'm determined. I'm going to make this happen. Have you ever done that with somebody? You think, this is my guy. Yeah. This is the one. I can make this happen. Because on paper, it seemed just great, but in reality, not so much. But I was young. We were in our 20s, and what do we know? So I just kept thinking it's going to get better, and we got engaged after years. Years went by. Got engaged, and I thought, okay, it's all going to work out. I'm going to have this happy marriage and family. It's all going to be great. And meanwhile, I finished my doctorate. I got my PhD and got a job as a psychology professor all the way across the country. But it was in a beautiful place in the Blue Ridge Mountains, North Carolina. And he said, great, I'll come join you there. It'll be fun. So we're engaged. I think this is going to be amazing. Well, he changed his mind. He broke off the engagement. I mean, many years had gone by. I was single focused, thought this is my guy, and I was devastated. This was just really hard. And I know you've all been through this. It's devastating when you think this is your person, you've spent years together, you've got this life plan together, and then it's not happening. So that was a shock. It was painful.
Yeah, very, very painful. And I really can resonate with what you were saying with regards to even though you felt throughout your relationship that it wasn't quite right, you weren't on the same page together, you weren't kind of blending together, but you kept, with the tunnel vision, you kept going forward thinking, okay, I've got this vision in my mind. I'm going to continue on with this path. I've made the decision. I'm gonna stick with it. And so often we do that. We even though we hang on so tight when we know it's not right. So let me ask you, how do you begin? And I know it's a process for us, but how do we begin to start letting go of that vision?
Yeah. So for me, it was this realization that I get to keep my dream. I get to keep my vision. It doesn't have to be with this guy. So that you'd think that's obvious, but no, it's not always obvious. When we think it's got to be with this person and we can't imagine another future. So that's a big aha. And of course, that's a great realization for clients as well. So many people I've worked with over the years. I've been doing this since 1999, actually. And you can keep your dream, you can keep your vision. It doesn't have to be with that particular person. So that's the good news.
Yeah.
So for me, a few years after that broken engagement, I really knew I wanted marriage. I wanted a family. And I was dating somebody who was wishy-washy about a baby. He'd be like, maybe a baby, maybe, possibly, I don't know, maybe. So that went on for a while until I finally realized, wait a minute, this is going nowhere. Maybe means no. That's what I learned. And that's typically the situation. So this time it didn't take years and years. I was the one to leave. So, for those of you listening, if you're dealing with somebody like that in your life, pay attention. Maybe it's not usually a good sign. Right. So I did all of my different things to learn even more. I took and taught personal growth courses. I came back to California. I trained with several different coaching institutes. I went through the conscious dating program. I had my own coach. I got crystal clear about what it was that I needed, my vision. And I realized that the right guy for me needs to be aligned with me. He needs to be there for me. He needs to care about my needs and really share my vision.
Yeah, that is so true. Now, often though, we get stuck a little bit when we're starting to realize that, and you did that very eloquently. I mean, realizing that you can still have the outcome. It's just not the way it's not with this individual,
Yes, it can be better. better, better, better.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I persevered. I did not give up. That's the key, people. Don't give up on your dreams. You keep going. Just because it's not with this person, you thought it was supposed to be with this person, and you had what you had with that person, but now there's something even better for you. So,
So how do we get to that point? How do we get through that fear that we feel like, okay, this didn't work out, it's never going to work out, I'm never going to have a relationship. We start doubting ourselves, we start even doubting what it is that we want. We'll say to ourselves, okay, well, this didn't work out, maybe I'm the blame, maybe I'm wanting too much in the relationship. How do we switch gears a little bit there and really start, conquering our fears, stop our self-doubting, those kind of things.
yeah, okay. So that's so important. We absolutely want to recognize the fear first and let yourself feel whatever's there, but know that we didn't come into the world with these doubts and fears and impeding beliefs. We pick them up along the way, and usually we pick them up from our families, maybe at school, maybe friends and the media, and maybe for decades we've had whatever voice in the head going, oh, I can't have that kind of great relationship because I'm not something enough. I'm not good enough in some way, or I don't deserve love. Oh, I hear this all the time. So it's common. Like we feel, oh, I'm not really lovable. There's something wrong with me.
True, yeah.
And we focus on the perceived faults, like what we look around, look at our bodies. Oh, I don't look like a magazine model. That I'm not thin enough, or strong enough, or smooth enough, or young enough. Or this is the things. This is what we do to ourselves. And we might be looking at our minds. I'm not smart enough, or our situations. I'm not rich enough. I'm not successful enough. We look for the problems, and so okay, that's the human nature, but we can shift out of that. I'll give you an example of a gal I worked with recently, if you want to.
Yeah, I would love that.
Sure. So Lisa was in her late 40s, and she believed it was never going to happen for me. But she didn't entirely believe that because she signed up for my group program. So she had a little glimmer of hope, right? She wasn't completely giving up. But basically, she was doubtful. She was skeptical. She had not had good relationships before. There had been a lot of trauma in her past. And she thought she didn't deserve a good relationship because she hadn't had it. And she settled for guys who treated her poorly. So she was pretty self-conscious and afraid to show up fully. So she kind of thought, like, if you knew the real me, you wouldn't like me. I mean, we've heard that before. Like, yeah. So, I have to kind of pretend that I'm something different than I am because the real me is not so great. So she was kind of wary, kind of uncertain, and thought she needed to change to be lovable. And she's pretty discouraged and disappointed. So so you've all been there, you know that. So and she'd go on dates and assume that it's not going to go well. That I'll be rejected, it won't go well. I'll be treated poorly because that's how I was treated by the men in her life, by her family. And she would not be like fully present with people. If we can do that, like be distracted, and also focusing on, instead of focusing out, tend to focus in, like, oh my God, am I okay? Do I look okay? How's my hair? How's my breath? So all this like attention on yourself is not great when you're on a date to be doing that. Is he going to like me? Is all that. So we work together, both in my program, the Conscious Dating group program, the Path to Lasting Love that I do, and some one-on-one coaching. And she transformed her self-image. So that's the key. She got to this place where she believed, oh, actually, this is possible for me. She got clear about what it was that she really wants, and she felt deserving of love.
And it's like she was sabotaging it,
She was totally sabotaged, and she's not alone. This is not uncommon. I mean, I was just on a call an hour ago with somebody in the same pattern. So, yeah.
And I think that we do that as like a protective mechanism to ourselves. You know, it's not, I don't know if we truly believe all the negative things that we're telling ourselves, but I think that if we put it there, then we've got our way out, right? If it doesn't work out, we say, oh, well, you know, it was because, you know, I'm
Yeah,
not pretty enough, I'm not funny enough, I'm not thin enough.
exactly.
Yeah, we've already got that in place. So creating
Exactly.
that shift that you've done for her,
Yeah.
creating that realism that, you know, she's not in, you know, not being truly realistic with herself, and, you know, really knowing what she wants, that truly helped her. So let's talk just briefly
You want to know
here.
what happened with her? So we're
Yes,
going to
I do want to know. Yeah.
yeah. So
Let's-
so she showed up in a whole new way. She felt great about herself,
Mhm.
and she started meeting different kinds of guys. And she met a new guy who was very different from the previous kind of men that she dated. So she is super happy with him. They're in a fantastic relationship. She says, "Oh my God, I've never had this before. This is amazing. I'm so happy." She's like feels like a queen around him. He totally adores her. And she really feels like a new person. They just got engaged.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah,
know.
nice.
So it's so sweet when I hear these stories like, oh, that's beautiful to have that transformation.
Right. And she needed that assistance along the way. So,
Oh,
number
yeah.
one, she didn't give up on herself. She
No.
registered for your class. You know, she registered for the course. So, like you said, she had a feeling that she really could find the right person for her. She could be happy. So let's talk just a little briefly about this course that you have, because I really do think a lot of people out there would be interested in knowing about it, what it can create for them, because as you said with this lady, it created an entire shift in her whole
Oh,
world.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. What is the course called?
Well, it's a conscious dating group coaching program. It's called the Path to Lasting Love. And I lead it twice a year. So the next one will be coming up in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Yeah.
it's,
So I'm going to put up your website while we talk about this so people can
sure,
go
I
to your
don't,
website and check it
yeah,
out.
absolutely. And of course, I work with people one-on-one throughout the year. And I also work with couples.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the course is fun. We had in our last group program, we had people all the way from Australia to Africa. So,
Oh, very cool.
so anybody who speaks English is
Mhm,
invited to
mhm.
join us,
That's
and
wonderful.
all ages too. So it's rare that I get people in their 20s. That's unusual. But 30s, I've got 30s to 70s.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
terrific. That's
I
wonderful.
know.
So
So
we can find a lot of your information on your website, which everyone knows is
and you
www.drwendylyon.com.
know what?
So that's
Somehow the www doesn't seem to be going through. I think you have to do the HTTPS thing to
yeah,
get.
but when you just do the www, the three W's, it'll pull up the
Hopefully it will.
page.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully it
just make sure you put in Dr. Wendy, Wendy Lyon, LLON.
will. No, LYON.
Pardon?
LYON.
Lyon. Oh, I did say it wrong. Geez, I'm bad day to day. Okay, it's Dr. Wendy, WENDY, and it's LYON.
Yeah.
So make sure you just check it out because she's got a lot of stuff on her website
Oh,
that
all
I,
kinds.
yeah, I think that you guys, it will help you. And if you want to send her an email, you just send it to Wendy at drwendylyon.com. And again, that's Wendy, WENDY, at DrWendyLyon.com. You
Yeah.
can send her an email.
Love to hear from you. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about patterns, right? Because
Okay.
we tend to, even if we can't seem to get it together on a relationship, we kind of tend to pick the same person over again, right? Different face, but the same game, right? The same MO. And so why are we doing this? Why do we choose this pattern? Why do we feel comfortable with this pattern? So we're going to talk to the expert here about it. We have Dr. Wendy Lyon with us. She's a psychologist and a master certified relationship coach. We're talking about how to find love after divorce or breakup. And she is one of our special elites, and we want to thank her for her support. So you guys stick around with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact goingsolodirectory.com.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to Date the Right One on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Cece Shatz. I'm the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We have our wonderful, honored guest, elite guest, Dr. Wendy Lyon. We're talking about how to find love after divorce or breakup. And we talked about the first part of the show, kind of various different, her journey, kind of what you went through when you go through a relationship loss. We talked about really trying to, understand that even though that maybe that particular relationship didn't work out for you, the vision is still there, that at the end of the day, you truly want someone in your life. So you know a little bit more about what it is that you want. We also talked about really preparing ourselves for love again. We also talked about our fear, our doubts, and our limiting beliefs, and trying not to let that squash us. We talked a little bit about a wonderful course that Dr. Wendy has that we could participate in if we feel like we do need that, or if you want some one-on-one coaching. Of course, you guys know that you can reach her right there at drwendylyon.com. That's drwendylyon.com. So check out our website. All the information is there. So now this half of the show, we're going to talk about patterns, because what I am finding, and with many people that I talk to, I'll talk to them about a relationship and it broke up and their dating patterns and such. And we see that a lot of times the person that they're going out with is very similar to the last person they went out with. So let's talk about these dating patterns that we have.
Yeah, thank you, Cece. That is a good question. So often we're unconscious of these patterns. So becoming conscious of them is key. It's really important to understand those relationship patterns so you don't repeat them. Mm-hmm. So we tend to unconsciously choose partners who are familiar to us. So they have some sense of familiarity. They're like our parents or caregivers in some way. They have maybe the positive characteristics of people who are from our past, who made us feel safe and loved. We're drawn towards that, but we're also drawn towards the negative stuff. We're drawn towards that similar feeling, those familiar negative traits and characteristics, and we don't even know it. We're not consciously aware that we do that. So maybe you had a father who wasn't really present or available, and you really wanted his attention, craved that attention from dad. So guess what you're likely to do, as an adult woman looking for love, you're likely to choose men who aren't really available for you. Maybe they're workaholics. Maybe they don't make you a priority. You've got this similar situation, and your goal is then to try to get their attention, just like you tried to get dad's attention. And it can be, such a struggle and often disappointment. And, this is what we do. I'll give you an example of a client I work with who is a single mom in her 30s. And she had this history of dating alcoholic men who were like her dad, who was an alcoholic man. So we worked together, and she became conscious of what had not been conscious before, what she wasn't aware of before. She recognized these unconscious patterns, and she had tended to pick these guys that were like alpha, bully kind of tough guys. They drank a lot, and they were kind of tough and bossy and wanted to get their way. Mm-hmm. So that was the kind of guy she was always gravitating towards, this kind of guy. And so as she became aware of that, she's like, okay, I think I'm done with that. I don't want that. So she started showing up in a different way and not really noticing those kinds of guys. She started noticing different kinds of men. Mm-hmm. So she, I helped her with her profile and all that. She got online, and she started dating this guy who she said, well, he's not like any of them. He's like so different. Should I even go out with him? He's creative, artistic. This is weird. She thought this was not her typical guy, but she stuck with this guy, and he's super kind and sweet and really there for her, and cherishes her and her young son. So they've got this bond, this connection. She didn't have that with these other kinds of guys. That was not available because they were not available. And now she's with somebody who's totally available and present. So it did take like transformation, to recognize the patterns. You got to be willing to shift the pattern. And sometimes people need support to do that, to identify and change those destructive patterns.
I think definitely. I think they do. Yeah. They do need support. And I hear it often, people will say to me, I just can't find anybody. I'm going through, it's like, I feel like I'm going through men like water, right? I'm just going through them. Yeah. And the reality is, it's not necessarily, and it could be the guys, it could definitely be the guys, but it may not be the guys. It probably is yourself. And so that's when that starts happening, ladies and gentlemen, when you start feeling that the whole world is kind of moving and you're not moving in that direction, that's when you do need help. That's when you do need a coach like Dr. Wendy to maybe help kind of visualize this before your eyes to see what's happening, because it sometimes takes a stranger looking in, that can make us aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Because like you said, you're feeling this behavior, this negative behavior is something that you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. It's familiar. Yes. Yeah. In fact, so I was just working with a client a little over an hour ago, and his familiar pattern was to only approach women who he wasn't that interested in, because the ones he was really interested in, he was sure would turn him down. Right. So that's a pattern, and we are working on shifting that, and it's rapidly changing for him. So
what do we do if we start to say to ourselves, okay, I think there must be a pattern here, and I myself, I experienced, It's like the next guy is the same as my ex-husband. So, I mean, where am I at? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, not necessarily their problem, even though the issues they have are their problem, but and I'm starting to see what that is. But the reality is it's a pattern. So it took me a while to get to that point. And so how can we save these people some steps? How can they proceed, if they realize that they're going through a pattern like this?
Yeah, well, it does help to sometimes get to have another person to talk to who can help you to realize that this is what's happening for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be huge. Yeah, and if you notice that you're kind of, continuing to attract the same kind of people, it's important to get clear for yourself on, well, what is it that I'm even looking for? That's a key. That's such an important part of the work that I do to help people get that clarity, so you know what you want, and then you get clear about what you don't want. So, if you're continuing to find yourself in these situations that aren't working for you, stop and take the time to back up and focus on yourself first, and taking care of you, and asking yourself, well, what did I learn from this last relationship? So we don't just blindly go forward into the next thing that's the same thing. No. So if you have been like trying to make something work that isn't working, okay, what did you learn? Maybe this person is not a good match for you. Maybe you didn't nurture the relationship and make it a priority. Maybe you realize that somebody who's saying, you've got the pattern of the wishy-washy, maybe kind of guys who can't commit, or gals who can't commit, that doesn't work either. It's like getting some awareness about what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You want to get clear on that vision and be with somebody who shares your vision. So do you have a clear vision for the life and relationship you want?
I like that. Shared your vision.
Yeah, get clear before you jump into the next thing. So, and you also want to be clear about your boundaries. That maybe you tolerated crap before, maybe you tolerated some bad behavior. I know we all have, right? So you're not going to put up with that anymore. So it's kind of having a little more self-respect, self-love, getting that so that you don't tolerate that, and getting clear about what you're going to say no to.
Yeah, I love that. I just heard something this week about the boundaries. It's like, you don't, often when we're setting boundaries, we think we're setting boundaries for the other person, right? But the reality is we're truly setting boundaries for ourselves. Because what we're saying is, when we're setting those boundaries to somebody else, is this is my intention, this is what I expect, and this is what I want.
Beautiful.
And so I think that is so important. So we have this mixed feeling about boundaries, and we shouldn't. So I think that is really very important. I know our time is coming to a close, and so how can our listeners, because you've been so gracious, because if you go on our goingsolonetwork.com website, we have a page there for Dr. Wendy, and all of her information is on there, and you've got a free gift for us here. And then you also have and you also have a download on your website, a free download. So I mean, it's so you give away, you give so much away of yourself, and we want to thank you for that, because we're so appreciative of, and I know that it's real for you to change lives, to help people go through this.
My mission.
Yeah.
Well, first, I do want to share that, of course, I persevered and for my own life, and I stayed focused on my vision. And I met my husband in February of 2005. At the time, I was getting ready to lead a retreat in Costa Rica, and I invited him. He came along, and he was so helpful, so amazing, and it was easy. He shared my values. He shared my vision. He was super supportive, and he has continued to be there for me. When we've got our ups and downs. We have a 12-and-a-half-year-old son now. And of course, there's ups and downs, and there've been health issues and all that. But throughout it all, we've been a total team. And that's what I want for all of you, to have that partnership, to have a team player, to have that lasting love. You can have that too.
Yeah, that is so great. It's so wonderful.
So, yeah, we've been married almost 18 years now.
Wow, that is just so terrific. That is so great. So, what we want people to take away from this is that they can have what they want at the end of the road. I mean, whatever they envision, even if it didn't work out, with whoever they're with before, they can definitely have it if they're very clear on their vision and getting that help along the way to be able to, carve that path out for themselves. It's so. Yeah, it's so very important. So share with us a little bit about, it's kind of, I wrote it down here and it's really very long.
I've got like 3 things for you. I've got my True Love video guide, which is great. It's 45 minutes or so. The video.
True Love video training.
Yeah, you get to take the conscious dating quiz and identify what stops you from love, which is really helpful. You'll learn some specific strategies to help you show up and be your best self and attract that right partner for you. And you'll learn the 3 steps that you need to take to find true love, which is nice to know. So that's totally free. And then you also get, if you want it, my roadmap to relationship success. So it's from this book, Roadmap to Success with Deepak Chopra. And this is a great roadmap for you. So it's an opportunity to take a look at those limiting beliefs, uncover the ones that have sabotaged you with your relationships, and you'll learn how to change them, change those destructive patterns that stop you from love. So you get my steps that are proven steps to transform those limiting beliefs and create great relationships. So that's all for you. And we mentioned the program, the Path to Lasting Love, my conscious dating coaching program. So stay tuned for the next offering of that. And I want to give away some complimentary consultations as well. So feel free to, not all of you, but I'll say at least 10. We'll have at least 10.
Oh, wonderful. That's very nice. Very generous. So
you get a free one-on-one with me and that's such a good opportunity to help you, to really get clear. Well, what is it I want? Like, what are my goals with love? What do I really want? And what's stopping me? What are the blocks? What's in the way? So you can get support to move past the blocks, move towards the goals, create a life that you love with the love of your life. So that's my mission. I want that for all of you.
Oh, thank you. That's very wonderful. So again, on her website, it's drwendylyon.com. That's DrWendyLyon.com. Just go to the True Love Guide. You'll see that there, the True Love Guide, True, TRUE dash love, LOVE, and then dash, and then guide, GUIDE. And you'll find the link there for that. And then also, it's like, what is it called? The roadmap to, is it Roadmap to Love or
Roadmap to Relationship Success?
Yeah, Roadmap to Relationship Success. And so that's on there. You'll see that on her website front and center. So you'll be able to not miss that. So you can definitely download that. And then, my gosh, she's going to give away some a free consultation.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
I want to really help you to create that life that you love and have the love, especially after a breakup or divorce. I know your heart is hurting, and I would love to help you open up to that love again and have it in your life. No matter how old you are, it's never too late for love.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. So again, go straight to our website. So after you finish listening to this, no matter when you listen to it, what time it is, go right to her website, which of course is www.drwendy.lyon.com. So that's LYON.com. Make sure that you go right away and click on that. Get all of those free downloads for you, and then contact her. She got a contact page right there. You can send her a message and let her know you saw the show, that you'd like to take advantage of her free consultation. Don't miss out on this. I mean, really, this is a fabulous. I mean, Dr. Wendy's been around for a long time. She's been helping many people.
Many. Yes,
Yeah.
I can help you too. I would love to hear from you.
Yeah. So let's make you out there a success story, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is so nice having you. I want to thank you so much. Are there any last closing words that you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Well, I just want to remind you all that you really deserve this. You deserve to have a loving, lasting relationship. So don't give up on your dreams. You can have that love that you want. Get support, and you deserve it. You can have it. You can find love again after loss. It's never too late.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, we love you. We want to thank you so much for all that you do right here for the Going Solo Network. We appreciate it. I hope you'll come back on again and share some more, information with us. We'd love that, especially when you have your coaching course in the fall. We definitely want.
Sure, I'll do another thing before that, and we can meet up again for sure.
We love that. And I'll definitely get out on our newsletter your information so people can take advantage of it. So I want to tell you so much that we do appreciate you, and so thank you so much.
Thank you, Cece. It's such a pleasure. Really a delight to be here with you.
Oh, it's great being here with you. I'm so honored. So thank you.
My pleasure.
So.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, you were listening to Date the Right One. I think it's about time that you do date the right one. And what better way to do it is with Dr. Wendy Lyon, and she'll help you get through any hurdles, any roadblocks that you might have, really trying to find that right person for you so you can start dating the right one and feel good about your vision and get to the end of the road. That's what we want to do. So make sure you take advantage of all of her wonderful gifts that she's giving us tonight. Again, she's got some downloads on her website, so check it out and make sure that you do that. And then sign up for these free consultations, just to check out, talk to her a little bit to see, if some one-on-one might help you a little bit. We hope that you'll do that. This is Cece Shatz. I hope you're enjoying the show as much as I have tonight. We'll catch you later. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Cece.
You're welcome.